What's up with it, y'all? Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. Back again with another one. Be sure to hit that like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit the notification so that you're able to get all of my content as well as all of my videos, okay? Now, the Brooklyn Nets and Ben Simmons have came up with a plan and a strategy in the off season, okay? And um, Ben Simmons, after Ben Simmons and the Sixers were never pretty much on the same page. They're saying that it will be different coming this off season, according to Brian Lewis of the New York Post. Now, Ben Simmons and um, his representatives, they want to come up with a plan and a strategy to focus more on his physical and mental health uh, in light of the training camp when it comes up after the off season. And the sources said that, quote, we will work together with the Nets on a summer plan, end quote. And everyone is confident. Now, as you know, Ben Simmons, he is recovering from the micro dissectomy dissectomy surgery, or pretty much to repair his herniated L4 disc in his lower back. Something that people had speculated that he was faking, but he didn't have surgery, so obviously it was something that was real, and it was something that required great immediate attention and required extensive rehab. Um, he's going to need 3 months of rehab before he can start playing. So pretty much, he doesn't have any excuses this time because, by then you should just be, getting back into the mode and the swing of things. Uh, and I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Now, Sean Marks, I had talked about him already. Okay. Now, when he had the press conference, from what I looked at, he basically has this attitude that, look, he wants players that are ready to go, and more importantly, that are ready to play. Okay. Now, here's my thing about that. It's either put up or shut up right now for Ben Simmons. Look, we know you've been injured. We know that you have had your shortcomings in terms of your mental health, and on top of that, you sat out and everything. Well, now you have no other choice but to get ready. Salute to y'all. See y'all in the building. What's up with the Big Task? What's up, Kev Foster? You have no choice but to get ready now. Now, Sean Marks is basically not here to play any games because he feels like everything has been a failure, which it really has. Everything. I mean, if you're looking at it from that standpoint, for one, they tried to get James Harden over there and tried to have the trio work out. That didn't work out. That experiment didn't work out. And then on top of that, they had the situation that was going on with Kyrie and everything, and him missing games. Amari Stoudemire had basically came out, who's getting ready to leave the Nets. He basically came out and basically stated that he felt like Kyrie's not being there caused the chemistry detriment, and they weren't able to get on the same page. And then they're coming out with all these different excuses, whether it's KD, having to log a whole bunch of minutes and all this other stuff, putting stress on this person, and they're saying that it's unfair to Nash. Look, all those excuses go out the window, okay? And you've had all these games to get ready. I keep saying it time and time again, okay? All of these teams that I've mentioned before have been faced with adversity. If you talk about Phoenix, when you're talking about Golden State, even Memphis, Boston has been hit with adversity. Milwaukee has been hit with adversity. We got hit with adversity, of course, but they still did not make any excuses, and they still were able to get out there. Even New Orleans Pelicans, they didn't make any excuses. Now, here's the thing about getting back on Ben Simmons. Okay, Ben Simmons basically, uh, well, Sean Marks had basically said this about Ben Simmons. He said he's feeling relief already from the operation, and he's expressed optimism that uh, he will be back at full strength next season. Now he is remaining optimistic about Ben Simmons. That's a good thing, but at the same token, if he's going to give him a chance and everything. I feel like if Ben Simmons does come out there and he does work hard, uh, and he does little talking and truly works on his craft, he could be very very great. So the reason why the Nets lost because the Knicks still run the city. Okay, nobody. Listen, Big Taz. I understand that you're from New York and everything, but that's not what this is about. Okay, I got respect for the Knicks and everything, so uh, that's not what it's about. Okay, we're talking about Ben Simmons and we're talking about that situation. New York Knicks. Hey, kudos to them. I respect the organization, of course. What's up with it, Big Twan Nine? I see you in the building. Yeah, shout out to Tura. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, thank you for coming over here. I appreciate it. But listen, if Ben Simmons was able to first and foremost be mentally stable, because people forget about the emotional components and the mental components of the game. If your mental isn't right, everything else is not going to fall in place. You said Simmons will help the Nets if he focuses on the game. Absolutely, he will help. But it goes back to everybody being on the same page. And I definitely feel where Amari Stoudemire is coming from. He felt like everybody was not on the same page. Okay. And not to say that that was his reason for leaving or anything, but, at the same token, everybody has to be cohesive. Everybody has to be cohesive. And chemistry is a very big thing. Now, this is the thing. I'm all about second chance. I even give a guy a third chance if he's willing to, bounce back. A guy that I could think of right off the top of my head who's had numerous chances and been able to come back in a different sport was Adrian Broner. Okay, Adrian Broner, he's had his shortcomings. He's had numerous problems or whatever, but he feels like he's ready to get back into the ring. Well, this is the same thing with Ben Simmons. He's had numerous of chances. People have doubted him. What's up with it, Robert Bruce? I see you in the building. And whether it's his shot that he needs to work on, whether it's his attitude, whether it's him feeling some type of way, whether it's his workout habits, then said Ben has gotten figured out the league knows he's tried, so he's looking for Malinger. Well, we'll just see what happens, Big Task. I mean, there's a whole nother off season, and we'll just see what happens. I don't really look at it that way, you know. I just have to see what a guy is doing. And then on top of that, I don't call anybody trash on this channel. So obviously you haven't been on this channel to know that enough. Okay, you got to think about it. He's in the NBA. You know, where are you? Okay, so that's why I don't call guys trash or bust on this channel. Okay, that we're not going to do that around here. You know, regardless of how you feel about that player, a player can come to a city league or come to a pickup game, and you try to guard him. Whether it's a player you don't like or you say that he's trash, can you sit there and can you guard him? You have to ask yourself that before you call that player trash. So um, you just have to look at that. Now, me myself personally, I don't think Ben Simmons is trash because let me tell you about Ben Simmons. Okay, his attitude and his mental habits, if you want to put it in that perspective, are trash. You said just got to get his mind mentally back. and physically right. Yeah, absolutely. But that comes from within. Everybody's not going to be blessed like a Giannis to have be self motivated. Everybody's not going to be blessed like a Jason Tatum to be self motivated. Luca, these guys that are actually in there doing it. What's up with it, Worm? I see you in the building. You said big task. I bet Ben will give you buckets all day. I mean, yeah. Listen. I was talking about Marcus Smart yesterday, and everybody thinks that Marcus Smart is trash. Shout out to True to King TV because we had talked about this. Marcus Smart is from this area, and if you've seen him play in person or you played with him, then you wouldn't be saying that he's trash or he can't do this or he can't do that or he's just a defender. Only reason he's doing that is because he has a role and he has a job to do in the NBA. And a lot of people don't really understand that. They think that, oh, this guy, he can't shoot, or this guy, he can't do this, or he can't do that. But then when he goes and he actually plays pickup ball, then it'll be a different situation, you know. So, that's what I like to tell people. But like I said, if you feel like that you can guard him, or you could play with him, or you could dunk on him, then you have every right. If you're in between the age, I would say, of 18 to around like 25 or something like that, you feel like you can go play, and you feel like that guy is trash, your opportunity is there if you're driven. So that's why I don't say anything about these guys being trash or anything like that. Now, do I critique their game? Absolutely. Does he need to get better with his shot? Absolutely. Does he need to get his mental together? Absolutely. Does he need to be healthy? Absolutely. That right there is without a doubt. Can he be a better factor in four quarter situations so that he can improve his free throw shooting, so they can rely on him? Uh, Making the correct decisions and everything in terms of, the aggressiveness and stuff like that. Absolutely, he could be a lot better. You said Marcus Hart. Marcus is the heart and soul of the Celtics team. Just what he does defensively creates so many opportunities for other players around him. Absolutely. Marcus Smart is, uh, he could have won Defensive Player of the Year. Actually, uh, not not so much last year, but the year before last, the last couple of years, because last year he was hurt. People had to realize he was hurt. But over the course of the last two years before last year, Marcus Marcus Smart had a chance to actually win Defensive Player of the Year. What's up with it, Lou the Writer? I see you in the building. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Lou the Writer Sports. Lou the Writer, put your link down there. Put it down there, man. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Lou the Writer. Lou the Writer definitely talks about everything on his channel. Talks about basketball. Talks about football. He talks about just life in general, and talks about other things as well. And is one of the brothers in the LDBC. You said Marcus Smart is not even a natural point guard. No, he's not. But that's the same situation that Russell Westbrook was placed in. Uh, many guys have been placed in a situation. Even Michael Jordan, he had to play a point guard one year, and he was able to benefit doing that, and he almost averaged a triple double. Hold on one second, y'all. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, he's doing a tremendous job, and on top of that, to put the icing on the cake too, he had Defensive Player of the Year award, the first guy to win it since Gary Payton. Okay, so if we look at it, you know, from that aspect, you got to give him his flowers, and I think that he's going to come out aggressive today, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to Ben Simmons, okay? Now, Ben Simmons with a jumper could, like, as I've said before, would be very scary for the league. Okay, but the the only way that Ben Simmons is going to be able to do that is he's going to have to maintain a type of focus that it requires him to really block out a lot of the stuff that he's been through. Look, we don't know what's going on in a lot of these guys' heads. We want to think that these guys are just robots and they can handle everything and stuff, but you truly don't know what's going on. But if I see a pattern of laziness, not willing to work, not willing to get better, then that's a different situation. So, Ben Simmons, they have a plan, they have a strategy. I'm pretty sure Sean Marks is feeling. You think BRN? You probably were trying to type something on TikTok, but look, Ben Simmons is. I've been very critical of Ben Simmons. As a matter of fact, they didn't want him there, and guys don't want. They don't want him there any more than they want James Harden there. And as I've said before, we didn't get too much better. You gotta you gotta compare Ben Simmons to other guys that are playing, okay? And don't make excuses, okay? This is what gets on my nerves. Oh well, he was hurt and he was this and he was that. No, don't make that excuse because there's lots of players that are getting hurt, but it's how you bounce back. Um, Jermel Charlo last night, right? He ended up winning the fight and everything. But Jermel Charlo has had his shortcomings. He's lost in the ring. Some people felt like he lost the previous fight. He's had some off the out of the ring issues. But guess what? He's been able to bounce back. And you counter that and you be counter you could be productive by winning because winning cures just about everything. I think Ben Simmons' agent Rich Paul. Well, everybody has been a bad influence under Rich Paul. That's a whole nother story. You said the key to the Celtics' victory today is Milwaukee out the offensive boards has been killing. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna talk about that in a little bit. But back to Ben Simmons though. Uh, look, the strategy that they're coming with is to make sure that he gets healthy first, and then then start to gel with the team because that was another thing that I wanted to talk about too. Him about to come out there and play fresh off of not playing for a while. That was highly unlikely that that was going to work too, for the simple fact that they didn't have any chemistry developed. Yeah, they might have played here and there, maybe in some different circuits in terms of the off season or pickup ball or something like that or whatever. But we're talking about you going into a playoff series with the number one at that time, a number one ranked defense. It was before eventually Milwaukee had taken over. We're talking about you facing them, and you haven't played, you haven't stepped on the court. I'm saying you haven't stepped on the court against inferior competition. You might have been out there in practice and everything like that, but that's a whole different situation. You would have to do what a guy like Klay Thompson is doing, who I give much respect for. And everybody talks about all these guys. Oh yeah, well, this guy ain't the same. That guy ain't the same. Well, you try missing 2 years. all right, with two major injuries, and then having to come back, and then not only having to come back, you're getting geared up and you're playing against high competition in the playoffs. That's a tough thing to do. And no matter what we want to think about the Warriors, people are still going at the Warriors as if they're the defending champs because they're still a competitive team. I mean, you see, they pretty much have they're waiting right now, and they were able to get the dub, against Memphis. So when we talk about guys having injuries and coming back and battling back, things of that nature, there's really it's up to you. The ball is in your court. It's up to you to get in rehab. It's up to you to follow the doctor's orders. It's up to you to work on different parts of your game to get better and stuff. Now, as I said before, to the guy, forget his name or whatever, that wants to come in here talking about something that's not really, relevant to what we're talking about, saying that he's trash and all this other stuff. That's one thing that you're not going to say. What's up with it, Mac? I see you in the building. That's one thing that we're not going to say. That's not what we're going to say. Another example is we could get on here all day and you could talk about Westbrook, or you could talk about, LeBron James being trash and this player being trash and that player being trash. But what's going to kill that whole argument, what's going to kill the whole argument is you're calling them trash or you're calling them a bust, or you think that, that player doesn't is not good or anything like that. Can you guard them? And then what you're going to do, you're going to fold and you're going to try to wiggle your way out of there, and you're going to be, well, I don't play sports or anything like that. Okay, well, you shouldn't be criticizing that harsh to say that player is trash. And that's why, like, I wouldn't even take your argument seriously, especially if you're sitting there and you're saying, oh, well, that guy's trash, this guy's trash, or that box is trash, this guy's trash. Have you been in the ring? Have you stepped foot on the floor? Have you been on the field? Have you did any of that? And you got to ask yourself that question. You know, don't approach me and sit up there. Yes, I am going to. A lot of people got on me for saying I was capping about Ben Simmons, but the one thing I never said about Ben Simmons is that he was trash or he was garbage or anything like that. Matter of fact, I said Ben Simmons has all the right tools and all the right talent to become possibly one of the greatest players to play if he actually used it. If he had Giannis's mentality and his whole somewhat of his mental fortitude and his competitive fervor, Ben Simmons would be unreal. He would be unreal, but it's a big percentage of it is mental, and a big percentage of it is physical too. And we don't like to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that. But in terms of what direction that the Nets are going, they they have a future because they took our future from us and everything. So they have a lot of room to work, and they are they are going to have to show, okay, we're bouncing back off of a season that pretty much was in our control, regardless of how we want to look at it. Okay. I like Kyrie. Okay. I like Kyrie. Do I think he's the most skilled player of all time? No, I don't. Okay. That's just my personal opinion. I don't. But I like what he did, you know what I'm saying? And I respect what he did. However, let's understand something, right? Let's understand this. He made that decision. He made that decision. So you coming out there and you know y'all not getting it done, you still got to take the criticism, bro. And it's the same thing with Kevin Durant. Look, you failed to show up. You failed to show up. And I don't want to hear any of this stuff about, oh yeah, well Ben Simmons wasn't there and all this other stuff. They'll look for every single excuse, like with us. Okay, we all that coulda, shoulda, woulda stuff that goes out of the window. You think the greats wanted to hear that coulda, woulda, shoulda stuff? No, they wanted to hear, I'm going to, and we're going to continue, and we're going to get more. Not no coulda, woulda, shoulda. Coulda, woulda, shoulda doesn't make championship. Doesn't make champion. It doesn't. Excuses don't make champions, and that's all we hear. That's all we hear. So Sean Marks is not really playing. He's at a point now, and you can see his frustration. He's at a point now where he wants guys to show up and to be ready. They pretty much have bet the house. They bet the house with Harden. Like I said, that project didn't work, and then they tried to do the whole well, this experiment right here with the Ben Simmons. Now they struck out on that, but I think they're giving Ben Simmons, one last chance. And if he fails to do so, it's not going to work. And a lot of people have speculated that he's trying to get out to LA too. That's what some people have said, but we'll have to see if there's any truth to that. But I hope everybody is feeling good. I don't know what's going to take place today with the games, but I am excited about them. I think they're going to be action packed. Um, I don't know how these teams are going to come out. It could all change at the end of the game. Some of these teams could come out flat. Phoenix could come out flat. Dallas could come out flat. Milwaukee could come out flat. Boston could come out flat. Because let's be honest about something. Those those previous games, especially when we talk about the Boston and Bucks series, that took a lot out of those teams. It took a lot out of them. So y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all leave your comments and make sure y'all like the video and share it, subscribe, uh, hit the notifications. Until then, man, it's Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment, and I'll get at y'all later.